Now, Dricus du Plessis has played a key role in the evolution of mixed martial arts from the cage fighting to the mainstream in South Africa. Last August, he changed the landscape of the sport when he retained his UFC Middleweight title by forcing one of the greatest champions of recent time, Nigerian-born New Zealander Israel Adesanya, into submission. CGTN's Driscus du Plessis reports.
Israel Adesanya, Francis Ngannou and Kamaru Usman, the three African kings of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, put the continent on the global MMA map. However, there's a new African king sitting on the throne, and he is responsible for the mixed martial arts boom in South Africa.
We doubled in 2 months, and it's so amazing to see because, you know, in terms of business, that's only one aspect. But to see the next generation, to realize that the next Dricus du Plessis, the next world champion, might be training on these mats as a 5-year-old right now. That is an incredible thing to think about, that, you know, 20 years from now, that guy can be a world champion. And, you know, maybe he just saw a fight and thought it looked cool. Maybe he just, you know, I inspired one man to follow, one kid to follow his dreams, and then that's a mission accomplished.
The 30-year-old du Plessis cut his MMA teeth in the Extreme Fighting Championship, Africa's premier MMA promotion. And as a result, more athletes are competing in the EFC because it is now a stepping stone to the PFL, UFC and Bellator.
Super bright. I think we've got guys that are still some hidden gems. I think we've also starting to uncover some incredible fighters that I think are going to do massive things on the world stage, and they already are. So, which is exceptionally exciting, and you know, it's still a new phase for us. I think South Africa is a little bit more ahead of than the rest of the African countries, but they're also only starting to find themselves, which makes it super exciting.
The foundation laid by the former UFC fighter Gareth Soldier Boy McClellan and the reigning UFC middleweight champion in African MMA has opened the door for a talent pipeline that is now aware that making the move abroad is within their grasp.
And that the legacy after Dricus retires in a couple of years' time as one of the greats of African MMA, if not across the world, should be that talent scouts and managers and the people who take business decisions in terms of the financing of the sport and all those other structures around the world will start looking to the talent in Africa in the same way they look for other resources. The fact that, you know, it's not just the minerals in this continent that is golden, it's some of our fighters are the best in the world, and that's what the legacy should be.
There's no doubt that Dricus du Plessis' meteoric rise has had a massive impact on South African and African MMA. The UFC middleweight champion has given hope and inspiration to many athletes who now believe they too can forge a path in the world's toughest sport. And with more gyms popping up across Africa, with talented fighters emerging in promotions all over the world, it's just a matter of time before Africa produces the next MMA world champion. Driscus du Plessis, CGTN, Johannesburg.